Hello, everyone. This is criminal profiler Pat Brown, and I was called about 4 hours ago by CNN, and they wanted me to come on tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about the would-be assassin of Donald Trump, Thomas Crooks. Now, let me just read you what they said, just so you know this really did come in. Hi, Pat. I am a producer at CNN, and I hope this email finds you well. I am reaching out to you to see if you're available to join us tomorrow in our 11 a.m. Eastern time to talk about the shooter in the attempted assassination against Donald Trump. And if you have any thoughts, kindly advise, and we can go from there. Thank you. I'm not going to give the producer's name because I'm sure she's just a nice person who is doing her job. So she called me, and she started into, what do you think of this guy? What kind of guy was he? And I said, look, I know what you want. You want me to come on and talk about, hey, this Thomas Matthew Crooks, this 20-year-old, is a psychopath. And there were people at the school who said he was a little weird, and there are some who said he was pretty nice, but he was really into guns, and he got his dad's rifle, and he obviously had a plan, and he wanted to have his moment in the sun like mass murderers do. But in this case, oh my gosh, he's going to go after Donald Trump. Wouldn't that make the biggest news ever? Sure, that may be true. But I said, there is no way on God's earth that 20-year-old was able to get into the location, get through all the security, end up on this roof, and shoot Donald Trump without someone on the inside. I said, there is no way, I told the producer, that the Secret Service wouldn't have done what they needed to do in a time like this, when you have a situation where, in recent week, you had President Joe Biden not do very well in his debate with Donald Trump, and everything went very badly. So the Democrat Party was trying to figure out what to do. Should we get this guy out of there? Should we have Kamala Harris move into his place? And then Joe Biden said, no, I'm sticking around. So right at this point, we have Donald Trump go to a rally and get shot. Now, I just want to say this, just to be fair. If at this point in time, President Joe Biden went to a rally and got shot, one might say, well, maybe they're trying to get rid of him. Maybe they were deciding, hey, he's stepping down. Let's move the process on. But in this particular case, the shot went to the head of Donald Trump. And one could say, well, maybe they wanted to get Donald Trump out of the way so he wouldn't be a problem to Joe Biden. Now, this is not a political channel, so please do not argue all of that there. But I'm just pointing out that it could have gone either way with either person running for the election to be the next president of the United States in 2024. However, in this particular case, let's just look at the crime scene. Now, by the way, CNN just came out with this statement. It says, just came out. U.S. authorities obtained intelligence from a human source, a human source, okay, as opposed to an animal source. I'm not sure what other source that would be, but okay. Because even if it's in something digital, it comes from a human, right? Anyway, a human source in recent weeks on a plot by Iran to try to assassinate Donald Trump, a development that led to the Secret Service increasing security around the former president. Excuse me. What? Okay, so we already know that the security around Donald Trump was dismal, but you're actually saying, CNN, that there's information that they actually ramped up security. This is their ramp up. They should never, ever work again as a Secret Service because it was so abysmal. It's unbelievable. Then they go on to say this. There's no indication that Thomas Matthew Crooks, the would-be assassin who attempted to kill the former president on Saturday, was connected to the plot. And they do point this out. They go, the existence of the intelligence threat from a hostile foreign intelligence agency and the enhanced security for Trump, was there really enhanced security, raises new questions about the security lapses at the Saturday rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, and how a 20-year-old man managed to access a nearby rooftop to fire shots that injured the former president. Okay, you're willing to go that far, CNN. I'm willing to go further. There are no lapses. There is no way these were lapses, especially if, oh my God, Iran might be trying to kill him. I don't buy that for a minute, by the way. But these are not lapses. Let's take a look at the picture, which is so clear that a kindergartner could figure it out. So you got this guy, Thomas Crooks, 20-year-old. Is he a psychopath? Most likely. Did he want to get his day in the sun? Most likely. Sure, I don't have a problem with that. And under other circumstances where he might go into a mall and shoot up people or go to a school and shoot up people, I go, well, there's not great security there anyway. But we are talking about the security for Donald Trump, who is running for president of the United States and was a president of the United States. This is not nobody. This is not just somebody from some neighborhood popping into another neighborhood location where nobody's expecting anything. This is a situation where the security should have been massive around Donald Trump. And if it were Joe Biden, it should be massive around Joe Biden. And if there was an Iranian plot, there should have ramped up that security like they claim supposedly happened. And yet, this 20-year-old little whack job, okay, he can shoot. Don't know. There's a story about how early in high school, he tried out for, I guess, a rifle team and couldn't hit the side of a barn, right? But if Donald Trump hadn't moved his head that much, he would have been dead. So that would-be assassin would have been an assassin because his shot was great. It was straight to Donald Trump's head. So miraculously, Donald Trump moved his head. So he became a would-be assassin and ended up dead because the snipers did take him down. However, how did this 20-year-old, regardless of his skills of shooting, get in there? Now, supposedly, outside of the perimeter, he was seen mulling around and he was looking suspicious. They noted he was suspicious. Now, you've got a former president and person running for president, and you can't detain a suspicious person? My God, you can get detained in a mall just for looking suspicious, like, hey, I thought you were going to steal that stuff. We're going to detain you. You couldn't detain that guy? Are you kidding me? The Secret Service can't detain some sketchy looking dude, got to move him away from the area. They couldn't detain him. And after they didn't detain him, even though they knew he was there, nobody followed him, watched him, did anything about him. And so he rolls in with a rifle. And they also said he bought a ladder. And there is a ladder here that goes up to this building, which is right there, right? He would go up that ladder there and then right here to the rooftop. Now, this looks like a longer ladder, and some people say it was attached to the building. It was just one of those things that was used to handle stuff for maintenance on the building and was already there. Well, okay. So I don't know the story here. They haven't come clean about whether he used a ladder somewhere, maybe in another location, maybe back here and came up, or whether he used this ladder here. I don't care. Anybody with an IQ over 70 who's never worked in security in their life would say, Donald Trump is going to be standing here. So the sniper's over here. Oh, look, there's a rooftop right there that goes straight to him. And anybody with a rifle could simply shoot. So any novice security person would say, we need to secure that roof area. We need to secure that area. They would barricade it. They would put security people up, police or Secret Service. They would be around the building, all the way around the building. They would be certainly at the bottom of this already available ladder. They would be also on top of the building, for God's sakes. I mean, oh, you can't afford 5 extra people, 10 extra people when you have this kind of level of a perfect place to shoot the president, former president, President Donald Trump, maybe president again, but somebody who is in our history has been president. Now, we're not talking about he's giving a speech in a city location where there's skyscrapers all around and there's windows, like God knows how many windows and roofs. I mean, that is a security nightmare. This was not a security nightmare. This was an open field with only so many ways that anybody could shoot at Donald Trump. But they didn't bother to detain a questionable fellow. They didn't bother to watch that questionable fellow. They didn't secure this building in any way with barricades or police or a Secret Service, not at the bottom and not at the top. And then when people were down here screaming, look at this guy, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. Nobody called Secret Service right there and say, get Donald Trump off the stage. They had time to remove him from the stage, even if they weren't ready to shoot this guy, which they should the minute they saw him. But if they heard there was anybody up on this roof, Donald Trump should have been pulled immediately from the stage. But no, this guy crawls along the roof and crawls along the roof and crawls along the roof. People are shouting and screaming, and nobody does anything. They do not protect Donald Trump. You cannot tell me this is a lapse in security. That is nonsense. This was an orchestrated event. I don't know how this 20-year-old played into it. I don't know who worked with him or whatever. And I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, but my God, it's obvious as how much more obvious can it get? I mean, it's ridiculous. So now they're just saying, oh, there's little lapses in security. Oh, maybe it's just, no, he didn't get lucky. There were no lapses. They let him in to do what he did. Somebody did. And I'm going to say, whoever heads that Secret Service team, he's the quarterback. And that quarterback was playing for the other side. He needs to be pulled in. He needs to be interrogated. We need to find out why he allowed this to happen. Allowed it to happen, or he helped it happen, or planned it to happen. But whoever headed up that Secret Service team, that guy, in my opinion, was the one orchestrating everything. Because there's no, if you didn't orchestrate it, you are the worst Secret Service person ever. And I don't believe it. I do not believe it for a minute that the top person there who is handling all of the security and all the plans and setting everything up is that dumb. You don't get to be in your position if you're that dumb. So CNN, that is what I was going to say tomorrow at 11 a.m. If you don't see me on CNN at 11 o'clock tomorrow, you can pretty much be assured they're not going to let me say this. And I haven't heard back from them. So I am assuming, I would bet a lot that I'm not going to show up tomorrow. If for any reason I do, and CNN surprises me, I will humbly apologize and say, CNN, you're doing actual journalism, and you actually want a criminal profiler, to actually analyze the crime scene and give her true opinion, as opposed to whatever agenda you would wish me to speak on that makes a show but doesn't cause any trouble. I said I could have blindsided them. I could have said, I'm going to come on and just talk about that guy. I could have blindsided them, and they would have brought me on. And then after I said, oh, he could be a lone wolf, but I think that the Secret Service is the one who are actually responsible for what happened. And then they go, there'll be deer in headlights. And you might ask, why won't I do that? It's because it's not ethical. I don't do things that aren't ethical. And I already knew that I couldn't just say that. And in telling the producer that's what I'm going to say and not say what I'm really going to say, that would be a lie. And I don't do that. It would have been a great opportunity to speak out, but it's just not something I do. I like ethics, and journalism should have ethics too, but we haven't seen a lot of that lately. So that's my thoughts on this. I will be curious to see whether we ever have any actual investigation of the Secret Service and their role in the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. So anyway, that's it. Thank you for being here. If you're new to the channel, please do like and subscribe. This is an educational channel. And I want to say one more thing. Please put your comments below as to the crime scene issues, as to what you think is logical and what you think is not logical as far as how this all played out. But please try to keep the political stuff to a dull roar. I don't want a big argument over hatred toward Donald Trump, hatred toward Joe Biden, and all that stuff. This is not a political channel. That's fine elsewhere. Please do not do it here. I'm talking about the simple fact that this should never have happened, and the only way it could have happened was somebody on the inside was involved with permitting this assassination attempt to occur. And that I don't care whether it had been, it could have been Joe Biden in the same situation, and if that had been allowed to occur for him as well. The shenanigans that go on in politics, we know is pretty atrocious. But this, I'm just pointing out some facts here. So please be polite. Please don't go crazy on the political stuff, because again, not a political channel. Thank you very much for being here, and see you next time. I don't know if I'm going to talk more on this, but it is a fascinating and very disturbing situation.